Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today is something I've been looking forward to doing, and it's going to be the ranking every Deep Purple album. It's a bit of a project I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, just listening to all 21 of them. So yeah, it's been a good journey. Some brilliant albums, some not so good. Yeah, I've listened to all the big ones already. But yeah, some of the later ones I've not heard. So let's just get into it. I'm gonna put my specs on today because I've got quite a lot of notes I want to read from. So I will start off by saying that a lot of lineup changes and stuff in the band were referred to as marks. So you can memorise these names because they've been mentioned throughout. But Mark 1 was Rod Evans, Nick Simper, Ritchie Blackmore, Jon Lord and Ian Paice. Mark 2 was Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, Blackmore, Lord and Paice again. Mark 3 was David Coverdale, Glenn Hughes, Blackmore, Lord and Paice. Mark 4 was Tommy Bolin on guitars and Hughes, Coverdale, Lord and Paice. Mark 5 was Joe Lynn Turner, Glover, Blackmore, Lord and Paice. Mark 6 was Joe Satriani, Gillan, Glover, Lord and Paice, but that was only a very brief one. Mark 7 was Steve Morse, Gillan, Glover, Lord and Paice. And Mark 8, which is still going now, is Don Airey, Morse, Gillan, Glover and Paice. So I don't know if you understood any of that, or if you're a Purple fan then you will. But anyway, we're going to go into the album rankings now, and we'll start with number 21, and I put Bananas. Yeah, it's not it's the first album with Don Airey in it, and it doesn't do anything special for me. Haunted and Walk On, decent tracks, and Contact Lost is a good little guitar solo by Steve Morse to end this very lackluster album, really. Yeah. So yeah, Jon Lord definitely missed. It's the first album without him. Next we go on to the second album, The Book of Taliesin, which I wasn't a big fan of that. There's a lot of covers again, but like on the other albums I quite enjoyed those, but on this one I didn't really. Probably the only track I really did like is Anthem, which is good. Yeah, I mean, great cover though, love the cover to it. But yeah, so then we've got 19, The Battle Rages On, which is actually titled really because it's the last ever album to feature Ritchie Blackmore. Also the last album ever with the acclaimed Mark II lineup. Gillan was back in the band, and they made a couple of good tracks on there, like the title track, Battle Rages On, is good, and Anya is a lovely song. Yeah, but then during the tour that followed this album, Blackmore just abandoned the group and left forever. And then Joe Satriani joined up for the remainder of the tour, to cover for Gillan on guitar. So yeah. And then number 18, we've got Rapture of the Deep. It wasn't much of an improvement on the last album, Bananas, really, but felt as though they were a bit short of ideas at times. But yeah, I do like Wrong Man and Clearly Quite Absurd. It's a good track too. Yeah. Number 17 is Slaves and Masters. It's the only album with Joe Lynn Turner on it, and because Ian Gillan was sacked after House of Blue Light, so yeah. But most people will put this lower on their ranking, even rock bottom, but I didn't think it was too bad. A lot of people don't even see it as a Deep Purple album. I mean, Jon Lord himself doesn't even see it as a Deep Purple album. Most people like to see it as a Rainbow album, because Joe Lynn Turner was at one point the vocalist for them. Yeah, I've not heard any Rainbow with Joe Lynn Turner, so I can't comment there. Yeah, there's a couple of good tracks on it, like King of Dreams, Love Conquers All, and the cut runs deep, and then you know you got Fire in the Basement and Breakfast in Bed, which are good but to a lesser extent. And then you got Infinite at number 16. Yeah, it's not in the same league as Now What, which came before. That was a brilliant album, but it was a decent attempt. You know, Hip Boots and The Surprising are good tracks. You know, I can't stand the cover of Roadhouse Blues though, which was made by the Doors originally. Yeah. Next we got Whoosh, the most recent album released last year. You know, it's not bad really for a band that were mostly in the mid-70s by now. So yeah, you know, good songs like Man Alive, Nothing at All, and We're All the Same in the Dark. So yeah. And number 14 is The House of Blue Light. That's it's the second album with the reunited Mark II. It's a solid album, but it's still not great. I mean, I do enjoy songs like Bad Attitude, Call of the Wild, and The Spanish Archer, but it was a bit, you know, I feel like that was a bit tainted really by the relentless feud between Ian Gillan and Richie Blackmore. Of course, Gillan would leave for an album after this. Okay, number 13 is Abandon. It's the last album with Jon Lord, who left in 2002, just a year before Bananas. So, you know, the highlights of the album would be like Fingers to the Bone and Don't Make Me Happy. Any Fool Know That is quite a popular track amongst some people, but I don't really like it personally. I mean, it's got Ian Gillan almost rapping in it, so yeah. Yeah, but it's certainly not the last album, the worst album that Jon Lord was on. Yeah, it's good album to for him to finish on, really. Next we've got Shades of Deep Purple, the debut album. So yeah, it's a really good debut, really. Hush is a classic that's playing now. You know, they put a good proggy spin on songs like The Beatles' Help and Hey Joe, which was most famously covered by Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, I mean, Hey Joe, the intro to that sounds a bit like something Ennio Morricone would make for like a climax to a spaghetti western film, but not that that's a bad thing or anything. Okay, yeah. Number 11 is Come Taste the Band. It would be the last album for 9 years, and it's the only Mark IV album too with Tommy Bolin. Yeah, Richie Blackmore left and went on to form Rainbow. Yeah, the only song I truly really like is This Time Around. Well, This Time Around O2G, it's all a bit medley in it. But yeah, some of the others are a bit average in my opinion. This, you know, it saw the band further embrace the funk and soul flavour that they started on Stormbringer. I mean, though I didn't mind it on Stormbringer, you know, I wasn't really a great fan of it here. I mean, yeah, I mean, to me, Deep Purple will always be, you know, a hard rock metal band, so yeah. And number 10 is Who Do We Think We Are? The last of the original Mark II era. It's, you know, a bit of a disappointing considering the last 3 albums, you know, were just among the best in rock history, really. So yeah, I mean, Woman from Tokyo, the single, that's okay. And Super Trooper and Place in Line are decent as well. Yeah, so number 9 is Perpendicular, and this was the first album with Steve Morse on guitar. You know, he plays 2 of the greatest guitar solos the band have had in many years, those being Loosen My Strings and Sometimes I Feel Like Screaming. So yeah, Somebody Stole My Guitar has a nice ring to it as well. Yeah. And then we've got the number 8. We've got the self-titled album, which is the 3rd album, simply called Deep Purple. You know, it's a great album, and it feels like a nice homage really to the psychedelic 60s. Yeah, Jon Lord's keyboards sound like almost hypnotising at times, something that, you know, that would definitely be continued in the next album in rock. Yeah, good tracks include like Blind, The Painter, and April, which has like got 3 sections. It's 12 minutes long, and yeah, it's got like a sort of proggy guitar opening, and then you got like a classical with a bit with violins in the middle, and then finally you got like an upbeat section with vocals and stuff like that. So yeah. And then number 7, we've got an album that wasn't made too long ago. You know, you don't really get that many great albums made anymore by classic bands. But you've got Now What from 2013. You know, wonderful album really, and it's a lovely tribute to Jon Lord, who passed away the year before. Yeah, you got some stuff like A Simple Song. That's a great rocking opener. Uncommon Man is the highlight of it. Definitely, that was actually dedicated to Jon Lord, and yeah, it's quite proggy, and you know, yeah. So number 6 is Stormbringer. Yeah, the second album with the Mark III lineup. You know, it added like a sort of funk and soul, as I've said, to it. You know, title track's good. And Soldier of Fortune is, yeah, far and away the best song on it. Yeah. Of course, Ritchie Blackmore left after this. He didn't like the direction the band was going. Yeah. Number 5 is Perfect Strangers. You know, the first album with the reformed Mark II lineup, and after an absence of 9 years. Yeah. So Knocking at the Door is fantastic opening track. You know, imagine hearing that again after 9 years, and the Mark II lineup coming back and producing something like that. Title track, Perfect Strangers is good as well, and Wasted Sunsets is a very nice track. Yeah, well worth reforming the band for. Yeah. Right, then number 4 is Fireball. And this one's actually Ian Gillan's favourite album by the band. The other members didn't really rate it though. Falls is good, No 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 and Demon's Eye. The Mule is definitely a better version than that on Made in Japan. Yeah, a bit more instrumentation to it than just, you know, 5 minutes or more, just drums. And the single, which wasn't included on the album, but Strange Kind of Woman, that was really good. This is actually my copy of Fireball. I've got all of the top 4 on vinyl, and it's actually on purple vinyl, which is very appropriate. I'll just get that on, give you a quick look. Here we go, very nice. It's a bit lighter than what it shows up on camera, but yeah, brilliant album. Next we've got Machine Head and number 3, Highway Star, Pictures of Home, Lazy, great. Smoke on the Water, a bit overrated in my opinion. I mean, it's still a great rock track obviously, but yeah. When a Blind Man Cries is great as well, the single that wasn't included. But yeah, I love that. I mean, it might have even been bumped up to 2nd, this album, if that was on it. Yeah. Here is Machine Head, just on standard black vinyl, this one. Yeah, fantastic. And number 2, Burn. Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. Of course, first album with Coverdale and Hughes, and I think the band needed that shifting, really, with new members in it. You know, it felt fresher, and you know, obviously the Who Do You Think War, which came before, wasn't that great. So yeah, Coverdale is a brilliant singer. You know, title track is brilliant. You Fool No One, Mistreated, Sail Away. You know, not a bad track on it though, really. Yeah. And then, if you know the band, then you'll probably guess what number 1 is. Deep Purple in Rock. Yeah, fantastic. Just brilliant. I mean, not a bad track on this either. In fact, every track is bloody brilliant. You've got Speed King. I mean, I wouldn't know these off by heart, but anyway, I can just tell you. Speed King, Bloodsucker, which was actually remade on the Abandon album many years later. Child in Time, just that is best Deep Purple song by a mile. Yeah, fantastic. Fly the Rat, Into the Fire, Living Wreck, and Hard Living Man. Yep. Well, his first album with the classic Mark II lineup. Black Knight was a single which came out just before this. That, you know, would have been better to put that on it as well, but you know, perfect as it is, really. So, yeah. So, hope you've enjoyed this. I mean, yeah, it's I've enjoyed doing it, and yeah. So, until next time, thank you for watching.